Republican Senator J.D. Vance has now said that he does not believe that former President Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. Speaking at two press events yesterday, the Republican presidential nominee confirmed his belief at the first event, and then he gave a more fiery answer at the second. Let's watch.
On the election of 2020, I've answered this question directly a million times. No. I think there are serious problems in 2020. So did Donald Trump lose the election? Not by the words that I would use. I answered this question a million times when I ran for the Senate, the 2022 Republican primary. I've answered this question in the 2022 general election. I've answered this question 10 times recently. I think that big tech rigged the election in 2020. That's my view. And if you disagree with me, that's fine. I've given that exact question for years. And this is such a preposterous thing that the American media does. I have given this answer to this question for literally years, and the American media wants to focus on what happened 4 years ago than the fact that North Carolinians can't afford groceries. I think that's a disgrace. Do your job and focus on the problems the American people care about rather than bull from 4 years ago.
I think the American people care about the peaceful transfer of power. Joining us now, Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist and associate editor of The Washington Post, our friend Eugene Robinson. Eugene, also, of course, an MSNBC political analyst. Eugene, J.D. Vance, after a couple of weeks of sort of dancing around the question, and he had a moment in the VP debate with Governor Walz about January 6th, about the 2020 election, flat out says it yesterday. He believes the big lie.
Yeah, right. He's got full MAGA. The transformation of J.D. Vance is complete now, and there's no pretense of being the J.D. Vance that he used to be, the Yale-educated, venture capitalist, sort of modern Republican J.D. Vance that he pretended to be for a while. Now he's just whatever Donald Trump says. And so he says he didn't lose the election, therefore he didn't lose the election. This is the most sort of insistent I've ever heard him on this point, which of course is not true. It's just total fantasy. It's false. And it should be disqualifying. It's not in the MAGA world, but it should be.
So it's not in the MAGA world. In fact, he was cheered as he said it. But there are still some voters out there trying to make up their minds. It's a small number, 4%, 6% electorate, whatever it might be. This fiery defense of a lie and that repulsed so many Americans, how does this help win those voters?
Well, it certainly doesn't convert anybody who's not already a Trump supporter. And also, he added this thing about, I believe big tech rigged the election. So the obvious follow-up question, okay, how did they do that? What is your evidence for that? So he has invited, in fact, more questions about this false and ridiculous and dangerous position he's taking.
So, Eugene, let's get your thoughts on Vice President Harris. She appeared alongside some Republican lawmakers yesterday, sort of creating that permission structure for others to cross the aisle. And then she went into the Lion's Den and did an interview with Fox News. How do you think she did?
I think she, not a scratch on her. I think she came out. Look, I think it was a really good moment for the Harris campaign for a variety of reasons. Don't listen to me. Listen to Fox commentators like Brit Hume and Dana Perino and Bret Baier himself, who said later that, well, she came to have a moment and she got her moment, right? And I think he was probably referring to the moment when she called out the clip he had played from denying, saying what he had said just minutes earlier and minutes later. And so that was a very strong moment. But the other thing she did by going there and by getting her points across was introduce facts into Trump world that just weren't, that are not spoken in Trump world. Like I was just campaigning with 100 Republicans who support me instead of him. All of Trump's national security aides from his first administration refuse to support him this time because they say he's dangerous to our national security. All of those, even on their pet issue about gender reassignment surgery when she was able to get in. Well, you know, that's the law now. That was the law under Trump, and there were such surgeries then. And these are not facts that Fox News tells its viewers. And so just to get that in, I thought it was really significant.
Yeah, and it showed a toughness.
Yeah,
and I think you're right. There's value here about going in there and saying those things. And even if you're just
she's not, you know, she's not some sort of inarticulate dummy who you can't answer.
She's not who Donald Trump says she is.
And she's not soft.
That's for sure. MSNBC political analyst Eugene Robinson, we appreciate the insight. Thank you, Eugene. And thanks to